M&B Media, we have Mr. Affiliated himself, Mr. Tim Mitchell. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, man, thank you for being on, man. Hey, once again, we love to get right into it. So, hey, man, tell me, where you from?
Man, I'm from Portsmouth, P-Town, Mount Herman, London Oaks.
London Oaks.
Original London Oaks.
Talk about the original London Oaks.
Man, my family, we were the sixth family to live in London Oaks. I was born in Jeffrey Wilson, J-Dub.
Okay.
And in London Oaks was built in 77.
Wow.
And we were the sixth family to move. When we moved to London Oaks, there was no back of London Oaks.
Okay.
It was just probably about 10 buildings in the front of London Oaks. The back of London Oaks was still being built. It was woods.
So hold on, let me back you up. You say y'all were the sixth family.
Sixth family to live in London Oaks.
That's history, bro. That's history.
Sixth family. Years ago, I was doing shirts, and I did a shirt in the original London Oaks colors.
Okay.
And people asked me what was the 1977.
Okay.
It was established in 1977.
Okay. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never knew
so
that.
I'm original London Oaks. I'm one of the original London Oaks.
Talk about London Oaks growing up.
Man, there was nothing like it, man. It was family, man. And we was all friends.
Okay.
You know, my mom, and it was 7 of us. And man, Shirley made work. So I was raised by the other parents in London Oaks.
That's right. That's
you
right.
know, I won't fortunate enough. I didn't know my dad.
Okay.
You know, so my dad was whoever else had a dad out there. You know, but you know, growing up out there and being a product of, I was one of the original kids to play in Joseph B. Parker / Mount Herman gym.
Okay.
So my dad was Bernard Griffin. My dad was Cornelius Coleman.
Okay.
Marvin Urquhart, Herb Ballard, Rudolph Freeman.
Okay.
I grew up around those great men, T. Bright, Wolf, Count Newby.
Wow.
All of them were my dads, man.
Okay.
I grew up, you know, like I said, I'm glad, as crazy as it sounds, I'm glad that I didn't know my dad, because I had the honor and the privilege to have a dozen dads.
Many dads.
Many dads.
Wow.
So the person you see sitting here was raised by a lot of great men.
Wow, and they shaped you.
Every bit, you know, and that was it younger, you know. As I grew older, you know, I mean, and we sitting here in Norcom, you know, and of course raised by Coach Langston, but
we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Before we get there, talk about young Tim, because
Young Tim,
knowing you the way I know you, you've always had a love for sports.
Man,
talk about early on, man, playing rec ball in Portsmouth.
Man, I played everything, man. I played football, baseball, basketball. London Oaks, we had a soccer team.
Wow.
Yep, Darryl Ferguson, soccer coach. Now Darryl live in Texas now. I played soccer. I ran what I guess it was called track.
Okay.
I played everything. You know, one thing my brothers, you know, of all the crazy stuff, and you know, my brothers that they did, my older brothers, they kept me clean.
Okay.
You know, that's why I never smoked, never drank, never have, never will.
Wow.
Because they did all that.
Okay.
And they saw something different in me, because it's a 5-year gap between my oldest brothers and me.
Wow.
So they would drop me off.
Yeah.
And I couldn't run with them. So I stayed in, they kept me busy.
Right.
Little league, everything.
Everything.
You know.
Wow. Looking at that helmet right there, what does that thing mean to you?
Man, we trying to make me cry. Man, this school and these colors, it shaped me.
Wow.
You know, the 2900 Turnpike. I never got to go to this school.
Right.
But 2900. And I didn't even supposed to go to Norcom.
Really?
Man, I was at Churchland. I was at Churchland Middle.
Okay.
I played JV for Churchland. All my brothers played with Churchland.
Okay.
You know, so my dream was to grow up and wear number 23.
Wow.
Was my brother's number.
Okay.
And they used to pick us up at the McDonald's on Frederick Boulevard, Coach Strickland, and take us across the water.
Okay.
To Churchland. But while we was waiting, Norcom was out there playing. Coach Langston had everybody in the weight room. But before weight training started, they used to be out there playing touch football, throwing the ball around.
Right.
So I used to be out there playing because I played Little League with them guys that were going to Norcom.
That's right.
So I get on the truck, going across crossway to Churchland, and how I got to Norcom, you wear helmets and t-shirts and shorts the first couple of days. So practice started, and at that time, Coach Strickland retired unexpectedly. He retired, so Coach Rose became the coach.
Okay.
And third day, we hadn't even got into anything, and he sent me down to JV.
Wow.
I'm like, and even the guys that were there, like, I ain't sending you down to JV. You better than all of us. So whatever it is with my brother that he won't, he won't one of his favorites.
Okay.
So the next day I was tell me I heard you sent you down to JV at Churchland. Yeah. Like, man, we told Coach about you. So Coach had, he pulled me over and I was enrolled at Churchland. He said, don't worry about it. I'm gonna get you over here.
Wow.
And I actually went to Churchland for 2 days.
Really?
I went to Churchland because I had to go. You was zoned.
Okay.
You had to go. You had to apply for Norcom.
That's right. I remember that.
You had to apply for Norcom. I didn't apply. I wasn't coming to Norcom. I'm going to Churchland. Went 23.
Okay.
Wow. Then I remember he called my mother and said, I got him over here. I got him in Norcom. And the third day of school, I was at Norcom. I'm so glad because that was
freshman year.
That was life changing, man. I got to Norcom and met my new dad, Coach Terry.
Coach Terry. Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
talk about that legacy, man.
Legacy.
I think we spoke before we turned the cameras on, and I said, man, I used to just remember going to the games. And I watched you, and I said, man, who was that guy, number 84, catching all them passes?
Man, it was against the law to drop a pass, man. I wasn't worried about Coach Langston, Coach Terry, or anybody else. I was scared to drop passes because of my brothers.
Wow.
Back in the day, they put frogs in your arm, in your legs. Man, they hit you and man, well, I ain't want none of that. I ain't want to come home to none of that smoke. Got to hear my brothers talk.
Let me ask you this question. If you could just close your eyes and envision yourself wearing number 84, running out there to the old Frank DeLon Stadium one more time, the band rocking, you jumping up and down, your height, y'all playing, you look across the field, you got, whoever, Wilson, whoever. What is that feeling like for those who never experienced it?
Man, the black hole. We call it the black hole. Frank DeLon used to be called the black hole. And man, that was different, man. Everything was different, even take like Coach Hawk, man. I did some apparel and we put it tradition, pride, legacy.
Yes.
Man, it wasn't nothing like it, man. Just the band, they were the Versatile 100.
Yes, sir.
But I think it was 400 of them.
Yes, sir. It was 1,000 of them.
It was 400 of them, man. They'll start coming in the stadium.
And they rocking.
And 10 minutes later, they still coming in the stadium. And it was just different from the band and football, the cheerleaders.
You look up in the stand, you seeing people parents.
Man, and that's and
teachers
and my mom worked so hard, and so my mom worked from 3 to 11.
Right.
So she never got to see me play.
That's okay.
But my senior year, she got to see for senior night.
Okay.
She gained buzz and that, and I didn't, because I knew what she was doing.
But she knew about her boy. She knew about her baby though. She knew about him.
I knew my mom couldn't come see me play. So my thing was, if I score, I'm gonna be on the news.
That's right.
That was my goal every Friday.
Make that paper.
I'm getting in the end zone.
Make that paper.
Some kind of way.
Wow.
So my mom could turn on the news. She get off at 11. She worked 10 minutes from home. The sports come on at 11:20. By the time my mom got there, they cut on and it was Brad Face.
Great.
Let's see. Bill Leffler, Western Peace, both of them guys, man. I'm gonna make sure that mom, she ain't gotta be there, because my mom be to come on, turn TV on, and they're gonna tell me.
Yeah, falling in the end zone.
I'm gonna make it to the end zone.
That's great stuff, man. That's great stuff, man. Those are great memories, man, that, a lot of people, like I said, they've never experienced, man, walking on that field, man. Never experienced, getting scolded by Coach Joe Langston, man. Yeah. So those are just great memories, man. That to me, that's the essence of IC Norfolk football. That's the essence of Portsmouth, man. So, Mosburg chicken before the games.
Man, yes. Man, you can trade me your hush puppies for your coleslaw.
What you know about that, man? What you know about that?
Man, look, man, Mosburg, another place, man.
Yes.
All that, man, just to come in the city and ride past certain places, the nostalgia of Mosburg. What's my one out in Cavalier Manor?
Oh,
go to Skillet.
Yeah. Go to Skillet.
Go to Skillet. Mosburg. There's certain places, man. I missed the Philly cheesesteak guy.
Yeah.
In Portsmouth, man. Just certain things that we grew up around, man. Yeah. It was a part of the Portsmouth.
Yeah. When I think about your area, I'm a mixture. I'm between Cavalier Manor and Southside area. But I consider J-Dub and Mount Herman and London Oaks more like we used to call it Midtown.
Yeah.
And I remember, man, that the big old peanut butter plant.
Skippy.
Yeah.
My brother worked at Skippy.
Right
One of my old brothers worked at Skippy, man. He's come home with, as I hate Skippy to this day, I like Jeff.
You smell like peanut butter.
He just brings Skippy peanut butter home. Jaws and Skippy peanut butter, man. Put my lumber car across the street, Skippy over there. Just, man, Portsmouth was different, man.
You wouldn't want to grow up anywhere else.
Nah, not at all, man.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like I said, man, London Oaks, one of the first shirts I did said London Oaks raised me.
Yeah. Wow.
So I was raised, and it didn't take because my mom was at work, but everybody else mom, Coop mom, Doug Mo mom, old Joe, people, and I got more bees by other mothers than my own mom. And then I come home and she want to be.
And she want a piece of
like, man, Mom, Miss so-and-so already gave me a bee. And she'll come in and wake me up. That's what's missing.
That's good stuff.
The discipline.
So I'm looking at what's on the front of your shirt. Affiliated Athletics, man. Talk about that journey, man.
Man, this journey started.
Cause see, I remember you from the old days, the Erupt days. Back in the '90s. See, a lot of people don't remember that. Back in like '97, the Erupt.
Rest in peace to Dave Pitt.
Rest in peace, Dave Pitt, man.
Rest in peace, Dave, man. That was my guy. Man.
Yeah. Me and Dave went way back. Fourth grade. Miss T. Smith, Olive Branch Elementary.
Yeah. Dave came. I met Dave my senior year at Norcom. And I turn around, he right there. Turn around, he right there. He wouldn't go nowhere. So I kind of, because they didn't have no big brothers.
Right.
They had sisters.
Right.
So I was kind of like Dave's big brother, and a lot of things that I wanted to do, they was right there. I used to have one of my first businesses in Portsmouth. I was in the back of Untouchables, Charlie Hines Barbershop.
Oh man,
we were selling.
That's history, man.
We was airbrushing jackets and putting rhinestones on jackets, and Dave was back there helping me put put rhinestones. Larry Sharp, Malik Starter, everybody else, but Larry Sharp.
Tim, I don't know if you know it or not, man, but you giving the whole portion documentary, man.
Man, look.
Because you talking about untouchables. That's history, man. Over
Man,
there,
look.
see, over there by the old Mama Chains.
The old Mama Chain, yeah. My first business was in the back of Charlie Bob's shop, man.
Good gracious.
Yeah, it was called Against All Odds.
Man, you talking some
You know, so I've been
historical stuff, man.
I tell people, and it's funny, man. I've been doing. I used to run around and go for old guys and go to the green store. Talking history. A lot of people don't even know what the green store is, and buy cigarettes for the older guys. And the cat who owned the green store, he knew I won't come in to drink or smoke or whatever. I come because my thing was they gonna give me a nickel or a dime to go run and get them cigarette or go get them the bull.
Right.
You know, go get them a can of Pabst Blue Ribbon, a bottle of Mickey's Big Mouth.
You had that entrepreneurial mindset.
Man,
back then.
so I said, man, look, I ain't been broke since I was 8.
Right.
You know, even when I didn't have any, I had.
Wow.
You know, so just doing those things growing up, it kind of set me up to the things that I'm doing, or I started to do later in life. Right. You know, with entrepreneur things.
Wow. Wow. So how did you pivot to affiliated?
Affiliated. If anybody, everybody, you know, the movie The Godfather.
Okay.
Marlon Brando, he said, you know, when they would come to him, and the first question he asked is, who are you affiliated with?
Okay.
He asked, who are you affiliated? Who are you affiliated with? And think back, Goodfellas, they killed Joe Pesci because he killed the made man, and he was just affiliated. Right. Same thing. The movies Casino or any of those mafia movies. I'm gonna tell you something. Okay, some people's favorite, Rick Ross. I'm a made man. You just affiliated. You just affiliated.
That's right.
So affiliated meant something. I took a common word that's known. Okay. And made it my brand. You know, to this day, you know, people like, well, how I get it? If you ain't affiliated, you got to be affiliated. You got to know me. Right. You know, even now, you know, I got a website and all this stuff. You know, I had a coach that called me, and he's like, man, I've been trying to get in touch with you. Okay. You know, so you got to be affiliated with somebody to know. You got to know me. Right. You know, just to get in the room. So that's the premise of the whole affiliated brand. Okay. Affiliated. Everybody wants to be affiliated with someone or somebody, even if they don't say the word. You know, they want to be affiliated with you, affiliated with me, affiliated with my man there. Okay. So that's where the word affiliated came from. Wow. So right now, while we're on camera, if someone is looking to connect with you, how can they get with you? Shop Affiliated. It is I do have a website, it's shopaffiliated.com. Wow. You know, you can go there and see products, but you know, I'm easy to find, man. Okay. I'm on all social media, Shop Affiliated. Okay. Or Affiliated Athletics. Okay. On IG is Affiliated Athletics. On Facebook is Affiliated Athletics. I'm gonna still call it Twitter. It's Affiliated Athletics. So everything is Affiliated Athletics, but the website is Shop Affiliated. Okay. But I do own affiliatedathletics.com. Okay. Okay. But it's Shop Affiliated because I want them to come and buy. Wow, that's amazing, brother. So how many schools do you have currently right now under the affiliated banner? Man, I'm working on 60. Okay. Quietly. Okay. Quietly. What's the goal? You know, 100 by the end of the year. Okay. But the goal is much more, man. Okay. You know, I was sitting down with some people in Atlanta. World Cup's coming to Atlanta. Okay. And I'm gonna be doing some work with with the World Cup. And the lady was she like, where's your team? Okay. Because she see everything. She did her research.
Okay.
I see you doing this and this and this and this and this, and I'm in the air. I think when I first walked in here, and I said, okay, if you wanted to do it tomorrow, and if I was in Atlanta, where would I be the next day?
Right.
Here. I was talking to a coach in Florida. Well, I got many of these stories. Mm-hmm. And I was on the phone with him, and he was interested in putting the brand on his team. And I asked him, okay, when you available?
Okay.
Why are you school? Okay, well, my planning period is this, but I'm available from 1:30 to 4. That was on like a Tuesday. Wednesday at 1, guess where I was at? I was sitting in his office waiting on him. And more so than him he was shocked that I was in Atlanta one day and in his office the next
day.
But, I'm kind of forcing it to, I can move, I can be anywhere. I mean, I'm here this week, and I have 4 manufacturers all overseas. I got my baseball guys in Tijuana, my basketball guys in China, my football guys in Pakistan, my other sports, he's in Indonesia.
Okay.
And we met like a year ago in New York. I sat down with some of them. So as the brand is growing, so we were supposed to meet in LA next week. So with all the stuff we got going on with tariffs and everything else, you guys ain't coming to the States.
Right.
Tim, we know come there. I said, okay, all right, well, where we gonna meet at? Say, all right, can you go to the UK? All right, Tuesday I'll be in London.
Wow. That's dope, man. That's dope.
Because this thing don't stop, man.
Yeah.
So next week, this time, I'll be in London, sitting down with my 4 manufacturers, and we planning. Even with the terrorists and all, people like everything. Man, what's going on? I was talking to another guy, and I showed him that he called me a week ago for some basketball uniforms, like last Wednesday, and I left. What's the day? Thursday.
Thursday.
I had him in Atlanta like in 4 days.
Wow.
And he like, you must know somebody.
Nah.
No, because what we did, we planned on this 8 months ago, before Trump took office. We planned I can't have a lapse in shipment and movement and any of that.
Okay.
So we planned on that. So now this thing is gonna be long term. A lot of prices going up, stuff slowing down, shipping. My prices aren't going up. They are what they are. The shipping ain't gonna stop. If I tell you, you're gonna get it. My thing is I'm under the promise and over deliver.
Wow.
So that's the purpose of that trip, to for all us 4 to get on the same page, because to do a whole school, I'm doing boys and girls, every sport: football, baseball, basketball, track, tennis, wrestling, whatever. I can't give them all to one manufacturer.
Right.
One manufacturer doesn't do all the Nike stuff.
That's right.
They got a combination. So I'm setting up the brand where I had to get all 4 of these guys. So if I wanted them to do Norcom stuff, because when I first sat down with them, I sat there and said, okay, you do the baseball, you do the football, you do the basketball. They all came back, all 4 different colors.
Wow.
But I wanted to show them, oh, we can do it. No. So I showed them, we zoomed and sit them together. You could sit a Nike hoodie, an Under Armour hoodie, and Adidas hoodie, all the same color, blue, and it'd be 3 different blues. So my thing is, I got to get these guys on the same. You got to buy from the same batch,
right,
of fabric, of material.
Okay.
So now that I got them on the same page, that's just a strategy meeting, moving forward, man.
Well.
So, but we're growing as a brand, man. Anybody out there that need uniforms, apparel, just come see me or
Come see
find
my
me.
man Tim Mitchell, Mr. Affiliated.
No doubt.
Yeah, good to sit, good to talk to you, man.
Man, look
Always
here,
good, man.
We'll do part 2 soon.
Much love, my brother.
Hey, my pleasure, man. No doubt.